Pakistan and Afghanistan, two contiguous neighbors sharing a 2,600 kilometer porous border, bound by geography, culture, and shared ethnic identity. This proximity has never been simple. It has fostered cooperation and friction, often in the same breath. From an academic lens, international relations theory, particularly realism, it reminds us border states live between security and cooperation. And Pakistan's foreign policy has always reflected that balance. As a sovereign nation, Pakistan has consistently aspired for amicable and constructive relations with Afghanistan, viewing stable ties as essential for regional peace, economic integration, and the collective fight against extremism. Yet, those aspirations have been tested by history, by intervention, by internal Afghan turmoil. Despite every challenge, the people of Pakistan have shown deep sympathy and solidarity towards their Afghan brethren. For nearly 5 decades, millions of refugees found shelter, food, and dignity here, longer than most wars have lasted, longer than generations remember. Pakistan extended this compassion without being a signatory to the 1951 Refugee Convention. It did so not for applause, but for humanity. Common Afghans know this. For trade, education, medical care, Pakistan has been their lifeline. But this human connection has too often contrasted with the actions of successive Afghan governments. Governments shaped by foreign occupations, ideological shifts, and external geopolitical maneuvering, all of which have at times eroded trust with Pakistan. Pakistan has long sought to insulate itself from Afghan internal affairs, keeping non-interference as a cornerstone of its foreign policy. Rooted in sovereignty and mutual respect, Islamabad's approach has been to promote stability in Kabul through diplomacy, not domination. But history seldom allows neutrality. The Soviet invasion of the 80s, the post-9/11 US intervention, and the ensuing spillover of militancy all dragged Pakistan into a conflict it never sought. These involvements were not born of expansionism, but of necessity to protect its own territory, to absorb refugee flows, to contain the violence spilling across the border. Now, to restore order, Pakistan embarked on a monumental task, erecting a border fence along the Pak-Afghan frontier. Completed in phases despite resistance and rugged terrain, the fence became a symbol of Pakistan's desire for regulated movement, for security, and for stability. Yet fences cannot cut through bloodlines. Shared Pashtun and Baloch kinships and Afghanistan's reliance on Pakistan for transit trade, remittances, and supplies make total detachment almost impossible. Even today, millions of Afghans depend on Pakistani markets, hospitals, and schools. These ties pull Pakistan back into a supportive role, even when it strives for distance. The resurgence of terrorism emanating from Afghan soil has placed Pakistan in a profound dilemma: how to balance its unyielding commitment to national security with its historic empathy for the Afghan people. Militant groups like Fitna al-Khawarij, an alias for the TTP and affiliates, have exploited sanctuaries in Afghanistan to plan and then launch attacks on Pakistani soil. Operating with near impunity, they have taken innocent lives and undermined the fragile pursuit of peace. Pakistan cannot and will not compromise on its sovereignty or on the safety of its citizens. Despite repeated diplomatic overtures, intelligence sharing, and appeals, the Afghan Taliban government has shown reluctance to address Pakistan's reasonable demands, to dismantle terror havens and curb cross-border incursions. This inaction fuels a vicious cycle. Terrorist attacks provoke defensive responses, and those responses further strain bilateral trust. Pakistan's stance is principled, yet firm. It seeks peace, not confrontation, stability, not dominance. But peace cannot exist when terror networks find refuge across a friendly border. After decades worth of shared suffering and sacrifice, Pakistan still believes that a stable, sovereign, and peaceful Afghanistan is vital, not only for Kabul or Islamabad, but for the entire region. Now, the real test ahead is whether Afghanistan's leadership will turn that shared history into shared responsibility, or allow the cycle of cross-border terrorism and mistrust to shape yet another generation. That is all. I'm Dayan Rahmani and this is Policy Wire. Stay tuned.